Pisces, let's take a deeper dive into the astrological picture that shapes your financial landscape beginning in mid-June 2025. Neptune, your ruler, and Jupiter, the planet of luck and expansion, play a key role here. Neptune being in your sign sharpens your intuition and creativity, which, as we said, opens the door to monetizing your talents. However, his influence extends further than that. It also blurs boundaries, so it's especially important to be vigilant and avoid illusions when making financial decisions. Jupiter, in turn, creates favorable opportunities for expansion in the areas where you feel most confident. This can manifest as a promotion at work, especially if your activities are related to the arts, helping others, or the service sector. Unexpected monetary gains are also very likely, not only the lottery win we mentioned, but also, for example, a favorable deal, a bonus, or even the repayment of an old debt. The combination of these two powerful planets indicates a period when financial success comes to those Pisces who can combine creativity with practicality, intuition with analysis. But how exactly do you use your unique sensitivity to choose the most promising investment directions? We will talk about this a little later. Pisces, your unique ability to sense energies and anticipate events is a powerful tool in the world of finance. From mid-June 2025, when the celestial bodies line up in favorable configurations, trust your intuition. It is she who will prompt the most profitable investment decisions. Don't ignore your inner voice, especially when it comes to investing in art, creative projects, or charity, areas traditionally favored by Neptune, your ruler. Take a close look at the real estate sector, especially if it's related to water or recreation. Perhaps buying or investing in such a property will bring you unexpected profits. On the other hand, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, indicates favorable opportunities in the service sector. Consider investing in companies focused on human care, health, or beauty. Remember that your sensitivity can be a strength as well as a weakness. It is important to separate true signs from illusions and analyze information carefully before making a final decision. Use your analytical skills to confirm or deny intuitive feelings. A combination of intuition and common sense will be your key to financial success during this period. But how do you communicate your ideas and suggestions to those around you to make the most of the opportunities this auspicious period presents? From June 14, 2025, the Sun moving through Gemini will activate the communications sector of your horoscope, dear Pisces. This is a time when your words take on a special power of persuasion. It is important to use this period to connect with colleagues, management, and potential partners. Your natural empathy and ability to feel the mood of others will help you find common ground even with the most difficult people. Think about how you can improve your communication skills. It may be worth taking a public speaking course or training in effective communication. The ability to express your thoughts clearly and concisely, argue your point of view and present your ideas convincingly will be a powerful tool on your way to career growth. Don't miss opportunities to prove yourself in meetings and presentations. Share your ideas, propose solutions, and actively participate in discussions. Your initiative will not go unnoticed. This time is especially favorable for Pisces working in education, journalism, advertising, and PR. Remember that successful communication is not only the ability to speak, but also the ability to listen. Be attentive to your interlocutors, try to understand their point of view and take into account their interests. This approach will help you establish strong and trusting relationships that will become the basis of your professional success. But this is only one aspect that affects your ascent to the heights of financial prosperity. There's something else that needs special attention. The revitalization of the communications sector, beginning in mid-June 2025, challenges you, dear Pisces, to develop your presentation and public speaking skills. This is not just the ability to speak beautifully, it is a powerful tool for promoting your ideas, gaining recognition at work and, as a result, increasing your income. Think about how often you miss opportunities due to insecurity or fear of speaking in front of an audience. Now is the time to change that. Start small, participate in meetings, voice your opinion, share your ideas with colleagues. Gradually move on to more complex tasks, make small presentations, speak at conferences. Don't be afraid of mistakes, take them as experience that will help you become better. Remember that confidence comes with practice. The more you practice, the more confident you will feel. In addition to developing your presentation skills, it is important to learn how to persuade and argue your point of view. Study persuasive techniques, learn to find arguments that will be clear and convincing to your audience. It is important not only to speak, but also to listen, to understand the needs and interests of your audience. Use this period to establish contacts with influential people who can help you promote your ideas. Attend events, socialize with colleagues, and make new acquaintances. Remember that connections make all the difference. The ability to clearly and convincingly convey your thoughts to others is the key to success in any field of activity. And in the period of activation of the communications sector, this skill will be especially valuable for you, Pisces. However, you should not forget that financial success often lies not only in your professional activities, but also in your relationships with loved ones. But that's not all, dear Pisces. Get ready for the powerful influence of Venus in Cancer, starting in mid-June 2025. This transit will touch your deepest feelings related to family and home. Venus in Cancer is about harmony, warmth, and care in relationships with loved ones. It is during this period that unique opportunities for financial support from relatives will open up. Think about which of your relatives have wanted to help you for a long time, but didn't know how. Perhaps this is the time for them to take the initiative. Or maybe it's time for you to delicately hint at your needs. Don't be shy. The universe favors those who know how to establish trusting relationships. Venus in Cancer also points to potential sources of inheritance. Think of distant relatives you haven't spoken to in a long time. Perhaps that's where unexpected financial help will come from. Do a little research on your family tree, ask about the fate of forgotten relatives. You may discover something valuable, not only in material terms, but also in terms of family ties. During this period, it is especially important to strengthen relationships with the women in your family, mother, grandmother, sisters. It is they who can become your main allies and a source of financial support. Give them time, care and attention. This will pay off 100-fold, because mutual understanding in the family is not only emotional comfort, but also a powerful resource for achieving financial well-being. But how to properly build this communication? How to create an atmosphere of trust and mutual assistance? It is worth talking about this separately. Pisces, Venus in Cancer, as we said, opens the portal for financial support from family, and even for receiving an inheritance. But remember, celestial bodies only create prerequisites. To make this opportunity a reality, you need to actively work on strengthening ties with your loved ones. Create an atmosphere of trust and mutual help in the family. Do not be afraid to share your plans and dreams, ask for advice and support. And, importantly, learn to accept help correctly, showing gratitude and appreciation. After all, sincere, warm relationships are not only a source of mental comfort, but also a powerful magnet for attracting favorable opportunities, including financial. Openness, honesty, and willingness to help in a difficult moment, this is the foundation of a strong family, able to support you on the path to financial well-being. Consider what steps you can take today to improve understanding and strengthen ties with your family. But what about the personal energy and initiative needed to implement financial projects? But it's not just the favorable placement of Venus and the Sun that forms the picture of financial success for Pisces in mid-2025. The dynamic influence of Mars, passing through Aries, also plays an important role. This position of the celestial body gives you, usually prone to contemplation and daydreaming, an unexpected burst of energy and initiative. Mars in Aries pushes you to take action, to decisively realize the very financial projects you may have been thinking about for a long time. This is a great time to stop procrastinating and start acting. Think about what opportunities you have to launch new projects. What financial goals are you setting for yourself? This is the time when you will have the strength and drive to achieve them. Don't be afraid to take risks, but do so thoughtfully. The energy of Mars can be both creative and destructive if left unchecked. Direct this powerful flow towards specific tasks that require quick reactions and bold decisions. It may be worth revisiting your old plans, making adjustments to them, and embarking on their realization with renewed vigor. Remember that success comes to those who are not afraid to act. Use this period to make yourself known, your ideas and talents. Do not miss your chance. However, in order to fully unlock the potential of this favorable period and make the most of all opportunities, you need to take into account one more important aspect. So, Pisces, let's talk about your entrepreneurial potential, which blossoms from mid-June 2025. In addition to favorable opportunities at your current place of employment and the prospect of unexpected cash flow, the stars strongly suggest you consider launching your own business. Your intuition, enhanced by transiting Neptune, combined with business acumen highlighted by other planetary aspects, can lead to the creation of a profitable and successful business. What niches will be most promising for you during this period? First of all, it's anything related to your natural talent for empathy and helping others. Consulting services in the field of psychology, coaching, social projects, here you can not only realize yourself, but also get a decent reward. You should also pay attention to creative directions, design, art, music, content creation. Your ability to feel beautiful and bring it to life will be in demand. Do not forget about services, especially those related to water, because it is your element. It can be the organization of boat trips, diving center, or even a small store with goods for fishing and recreation in nature. The main thing is to find a niche that matches your interests and market needs. Start small, analyze your skills and resources, conduct market research, make a business plan. Don't be afraid to seek advice from experienced entrepreneurs and experts. Take advantage of the opportunities that the universe provides, but remember to take a sensible approach to finances. And of course, don't forget the importance of communication and networking, we've already talked about that. But as you know, money comes in many different ways. There is another area where you may be in for a pleasant surprise. Now let's talk about the unexpected opportunities that Uranus in Taurus brings. This position of the celestial body promises Pisces not only pleasant surprises, but also a real chance to win big. Yes, I'm talking about the lottery. Uranus, as the planet of surprises and change, can bring you a lucky ticket. But of course, you shouldn't blindly rely on luck. Astrology only indicates favorable periods. Carefully study the lunar calendar, pay attention to the days when the moon is in water signs, especially in your home sign of Pisces. These periods enhance your intuition, which means you are more likely to make the right choice. Do not neglect the advice of numerologists, perhaps they will help you to calculate a lucky combination of numbers. However, before plunging headlong into the world of lotteries, it is worth remembering about the reasonable approach. And how not to lose your head in pursuit of luck, we will talk a little later. Speaking of unexpected cash flow, we cannot fail to mention the possibility of winning the lottery, which is indicated by Uranus in Taurus. However, dear Pisces, as your astrologer mentor, I urge you to take a conscious approach. Consider participation in lotteries as a form of entertainment, not as your main source of income. Set clear spending limits for yourself and never exceed them. It is important to avoid developing an addiction and see the lottery as a game where you can try your luck, but should not put your financial well-being on the line. Remember that moderation and common sense are your best allies in any financial matters. What if I told you that to achieve sustainable financial success, you need not only luck, but also some structure? Dear Pisces, remember that even the most favorable astrological forecast requires us to be proactive and conscious. Speaking of financial success, we cannot ignore the influence of Saturn in your sign. This celestial body makes special demands on your financial discipline. Saturn in Pisces is not about instant riches, but about the foundation, the long-term perspective. It is now, more than ever, that structured management of your finances becomes important. Imagine that your financial life is a ship sailing on a stormy sea of opportunity. Without a clear course and a reliable rudder, it runs the risk of losing its way. Saturn acts as an experienced navigator, helping you set the right course. What does this mean in practice? First of all, you need to plan clearly. You cannot rely on intuition alone, no matter how strong it may be under the influence of Neptune. Make a detailed financial plan, define your goals, whether it's buying real estate, creating passive income, or simply financial independence. Discipline is another key aspect. Saturn requires you to strictly adhere to a budget, refuse impulsive purchases and say no to temptation. This can be challenging, especially for creative and dreamy Pisces, but it is discipline that will allow you to realize your potential and achieve financial stability. Remember that Saturn is not an enemy, but a wise teacher. He helps you become more responsible, organized, and motivated. Embrace its lessons and you will see your financial affairs begin to improve. But what exactly is the right way to make this financial plan, and what tools will help you in this difficult endeavor? Pisces, in order to confidently enter the period of financial upheaval beginning in mid-June 2025, you need to lay a solid foundation now. The most important step is to create a clear financial plan. This is not just a wish list, but a detailed map of your income and expenses, allowing you to see the real picture and take control of your finances. Start by analyzing your current situation. How much do you earn and what do you spend money on each month? Divide your expenses into categories: mandatory, rent, utilities, groceries, variable, entertainment, clothing, and investments. This will help you identify black holes where money is leaking out and optimize your spending. Budgeting is your trusted tool in achieving financial stability. Set limits for each category of spending and strictly adhere to them. There are many apps and programs that can help you keep track of your finances and control your budget. Remember that a financial plan is not a dogma, but a flexible tool that can be adjusted according to circumstances. When allocating income, prioritize not only your current needs, but also create a financial safety cushion. Set aside some funds for unexpected expenses and invest in assets that will generate passive income. This can be a deposit in a bank, buying securities, or investing in real estate. A conscious attitude to finances is not a restriction, but freedom. Freedom from debt, from fear of the future, from the need to work only for survival. It is an opportunity to realize your dreams and live a full life. But for full confidence in your financial decisions, it is worth paying attention to one more important aspect that affects the success of your monetary endeavors. Pisces, let's talk about another important astrological aspect that will require your close attention during a period when good fortune seems to be swimming into your hands. Starting in mid-June 2025, when many planetary influences are stacking up in your favor, you can't forget about the mundane and practical. Mercury, the planet of intellect and communications, will be in Virgo, which will bring a need for analysis and increased attention to detail, especially when it comes to financial transactions. Intuition is certainly your strong ally, but during this period it needs to be backed up with a rational approach. Be aware of the opportunities that are open to you due to your creativity, empathy, and desire to help others. However, before you plunge headlong into a new project or investment, do your research thoroughly. Mercury in Virgo, like a strict teacher, will require you to thoroughly check any information. This applies to everything from the terms of a loan agreement to the fine print in lottery rules. Do not rely only on luck or a favorable arrangement of the stars. Even if everything seems to be going perfectly, take the time to double-check all the numbers, terms, and obligations. It is during this period that it is especially important for you to be attentive to the execution of documents. Any inaccuracy, typo, or overlooked detail can turn into serious financial losses later on. Do not hesitate to seek help from lawyers, accountants, or other specialists who will be able to professionally assess the risks and protect your interests. So, the stars promise you financial success, but remember that even the most favorable astrological environment requires you to be conscious and responsible. What other pitfalls can you encounter on your way to financial prosperity? However, in order to truly take advantage of the generous gifts of the stars, Pisces needs to be extremely vigilant in matters relating to legal and financial documents. From June 14, 2025 onwards, when prospects are tantalizingly painting pictures of raises, winnings and unexpected inheritances, it is critical to carefully check every letter in contracts and agreements. Inattention can result in serious financial losses, negating all efforts and potential profits. Don't hesitate to seek advice from lawyers and financial experts, especially when dealing with large sums of money or complex schemes. Make sure you understand all the terms and consequences before you sign. Remember that even the most favorable astrological picture requires a sensible and responsible approach to managing your finances. Are there any other nuances that you should consider to maximize your success during this period?